Hey, welcome in everybody. In this video, I want to talk about how to use the array command as far as it applies to the Revit Certified User Exam. So usually on the Certified User Exam, you're going to have a question about how to use the array tool. So what I have here is I have like a room. There's no doors or windows, so we can't get in or out. But just as an example, I have a room. And then I have one chair. So let's say that I want to make copies of this chair, like for a classroom setting or a theater. So what you would do is you would use the array tool. So the question might say, use the array tool, blah, blah, blah. So don't sit here and panic trying to figure out, okay, I know I want to make an array of this chair, but where is the array command? I'm wasting time. I don't know where it's at. You're panicking. So yeah, don't panic. So what I would do is I would click on the chair first. Like I know I want to make an array of this chair, so I'm gonna select this. Now Revit is going to give you the options of kind of what you can do with that chair. So now you can see here's our array command right here. So I'm gonna click on the array tool, and there's a couple of options that you can do. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to tell Revit, okay, how many copies of this chair do you want to make? So usually that's going to be on the exam is going to tell you. So let's say I want to make 7 copies. So instead of 2, I'm going to type in 7, press enter. And then there's 2 options here. Where do you want to move it to? So if you know the distance or the spacing between each chair, then you're going to use the move to second option. So let me just kind of give you an example of that. So right now Revit is asking you, it says click to enter, move, or start point. So let's just say I'm gonna click on the center point of this chair, and then I'm gonna kind of drag it in the direction that I want to move it to, or make a copy of it to. What spacing do you want between each chair? So let's say that Revit says you want to make a 4-foot spacing in between the center of one chair to the center of the next one. So I would type in 4, press enter. Revit already knows that I want 7 chairs, so it's going to take that number, and it knows that I wanted it to be like 4 feet in between, the center of one to the center of the next. So it's going to automatically kind of calculate that out for me. Boom, there's my linear array of my chairs, like so. So the good thing about this is if I say, okay, that's way too many, if I'm in real life, I can just always come back and change this number to 6, press enter. And that looks more like it. All right, so that's kind of how to use that one option. But let's say, let me erase these. Let's say I want to make an array of this chair, and I want to use the last option. So if I click on this, now, okay, you still need to tell Revit how many chairs you want. So I want to make a total of 6 chairs this time. I'll be smart. Press 6. Now, what you do is you tell Revit, where do you want the first chair to be? I want it to be right where it is. So I'm going to click on the center point or midpoint. And then you tell Revit, where do you want the very last one in the series to be? So let's say I want to make it 18 feet 6. And then what Revit's going to do, it's going to take the number that you said you wanted, and it's going to equally divide those up between the first point and your last point. So more than likely, that's the one that you're going to see on the exam. So it's important to know how to do that. All right, so I want to make more arrays. So I don't want to have one single file row. I'm going to select all of these chairs here. Go to my array. I'm going to, let's say I want to have 4 or 5, maybe 5. Move to second. So I'm going to click the center point here. I'm going to move the next one to maybe like 3 feet apart. So there we have more of a classroom setting going on. So yeah, that's kind of how you make an array of our chairs for our imaginary classroom. All right, so while we have our classroom kind of set up, I can use this to show you how to use the mirror elements tool. So probably on the Revit certified user, you're going to be asked to mirror some objects. So let's just mirror our classroom that we have. Let's say that we're going to make a school. So I wanted to kind of make a mirrored copy of this classroom on the other side, so we look nice and professional. So what I would do is if I want to make a mirror of this room, I would select all of the items I want to mirror. And then if you look up here, there's two different options for mirror. So there's mirror pick axis, and there's also mirror draw axis. So with the pick axis, it's like a pickaxe, like you're gonna cut some ice in the tundra. Anyway, I'm gonna select the pick axis tool. And then here, you just kind of select an axis that's already somewhere on the drawing, which is probably, in this case, not what I would want to do in this case. Let's say I want to pick the center line of this wall here as my axis. So it's gonna kind of mirror those around the center of that wall. But now really what that did is that it's creating two walls on top of each other. And down here, it's telling you that they overlap. So I'm just gonna hit the X here. I'm just trying to show you kind of what that does. I don't really want two walls on top of each other. So that's the pick axis method. So let me undo this one here. And let me show you the other one. So if I select all my items that I want to mirror, and then I go up to the mirror draw axis, it's going to draw a temporary line to use as an axis for mirroring. So I'm going to select this. I can either like draw a line here on this wall, the edge of this wall down, or let's say I want to make it like a corridor or a hallway in between these two classrooms. I can just kind of get a measurement off. So let's say I want to make this, I don't know, 5 feet. And then draw my axis straight down. So basically I just made like a little hallway 5 feet in between each one. And then when I click it, boom, it's going to create a mirrored copy of that classroom. Now I got my elevation tag here. So I'm just going to click on the box and drag it over. So those are the two different kind of fancy ways you can use the mirror command. So you probably will see that on the exam as well. So that's kind of how you do that. I love that whip spin transition. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? So anyway, what I want to show you now is how to create rooms, how to add rooms. So I took the wall off of one of our classrooms, so I can show you how to add a room that's totally surrounded by walls and one that's kind of an open area where it's not technically all surrounded by walls. So to add a room, what you want to do, you want to go to your architecture tab, and then you click on where it says room and area panel. I'm going to select room, and then you just kind of drag your mouse or move your mouse into the interior area of the room, and then you just kind of left click, and it's going to give you the room number, the square footage. It'll put a room name there. You can change that to whatever you want. So let's say if I want to add a room over here, it says it's not enclosed. So that's kind of a problem. So what we could do here is, let me see what happens if I try to left click it. Yeah, it's going to give me it's not closed region, and it's room 2. So I'm going to, can I undo this? Yeah, okay. So to fix that problem, we're going to go to where you see room separator. And I'm just going to kind of draw a line from one corner of this wall down to the other corner, just so I can kind of close this area off. It's kind of like in AutoCAD when you try to hatch an area that's not enclosed, it kind of freaks out. So now I have that room separated line there. Now I can go to my room, and now I can place a room in that area. I'm gonna right click, hit cancel, because I don't want any of them there. So yeah, it tells you the square footage, and you can come in and if you click on the room here, you can change the name of it. So let's say I want to make this classroom, and maybe give it a room number, I don't know, 1502. And we can make this classroom Probably going to be at the other end. It's probably going to be an odd number. So 1503. There we go. All right. So that's kind of how you add rooms, which you might be tested on in the certified user exam. So, all right, there you go. Hope that helps. Peace out.